Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Selia Wulandari. Welcome to my presentation with the title Teaching Models Recommended by K13 and Bloom Taxonomy. And now we are going to discuss about explaining current teaching models recommended by K13 and explaining Bloom Taxonomy. And now let's get down to the material. Teaching models. Teaching models are a set of theoretical specifications, rules, and regulations for how the teaching will take place in education. In essence, they take into account the conditions that cause the learning or from learning theories and determine the type and order action to be taken to create the appropriate learning condition. Types of teaching models. First, information processing models. Second, behavior modification models. Third, social interaction models. And fourth, personal development models. And the characteristic of teaching models. First, models of teaching are some sort of pattern or plans prepared in advance for the success of the teaching-learning process. Second, they differ from general teaching techniques and strategies in the sense that they are designed to meet specific objectives or goals. And the third, provide specific guidelines or blueprint in advance for the realization of the specific objective by specifying the teaching activities and controlling the teaching learning environment. Next, gives specific instructional design for particular type of instruction, the specific teaching learning situation. Next, help in creating a proper teaching learning environment, help in specifying the criteria of acceptable performance accept from the learner in a specific teaching learning situation. Next, provides systematic procedure and organized effort for the desirable modification or the behavior of the learner. And the next, they first specify the teaching or learning outcome in behavioral terms and then lay down a step-by-step procedure for the attainment of those outcomes. And then help the teacher in the task in the some way as the engineer is help in the construction of a building or bridge by an appropriate model or blueprint prepared in advance. And then save the energy, time and effort of the teaching at the teacher and the learner besides providing economy to the best utilization of the other teaching learning research. And the last model of teaching are known to serve three major functions in a given teaching learning situation. And the next material is fundamental elements of teaching models. Teaching models provide valuable guidelines and blueprint for carrying out the task of teaching for the realization of some specific goals. We should be using the following fundamentals. The first is focus. It is central aspect of teaching model. The second, syntax. This term or praising the model refers to the description of the model in the action. And the third, principle or reaction. This response should be quite appropriate and selective. And the fourth, social system. The model differ from each other with regard to the description of the above aspect. And the 5. Support system. This element refers to the additional requirement beyond the usual human skills or cap- capacities from the teacher and the facilities of schedule available in a in an ordinary classroom. And the last, application. This element describe its application aspect. Some are meant for a short lesson, some for the large, some for the boot. Okay, now let's move to the second material. It's about Bloom taxonomy. The definition of Bloom taxonomy is a classification system used to define and distinguish different levels of human cognition, that is, thinking, learning, and understanding. Educators have typically used Bloom's taxonomy inform or guide the development of assessment or test and other evaluation of student learning, curriculum or unit, lesson, project, and other learning activities, and instructional methods such as questioning strategies. And the purpose of Bloom's taxonomy is to help educators to inform, a guide to development of assessment or test and or evaluation of student learning, curriculum or unit, lesson, project, and other learning activities, and instructional methods such as questioning strategies. Original taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy was originally published in 1956 by a team of cognitive psychologists at the University of Chicago. It is named after Comet's chairman Benjamin Bloom in 1913 to 1999. The original taxonomy was organized into three domains, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Educators have primary focus on the cognitive model, which includes 6 different classification levels. That is knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The group sought to design a logical framework for teaching and learning goals that would help researchers and educators understand the fundamental ways in which people acquire and develop new knowledge, skill, and understanding. Next is revised taxonomy. In 2001, another team of scholars led by Lauren Anderson, a former student Bloom's, and David Cradwell, a Bloom College who served on the academic team that developed the original taxonomy, released a revised version of Bloom taxonomy called a taxonomy for learning, teaching, and assessing. A revision of Bloom taxonomy of educational objective. The revised Bloom taxonomy, as it is commonly called, was intentionally designed to be more useful to educators and to reflect the common way in which it had come to be used in school. In the revised version, 3 categories were renamed and all the categories were expressed as verb rather than noun. Knowledge was changed to remembering, comprehension became understanding, and synthesis was renamed creating. In addition, creating became the high level in the classification system, switching place with evaluation. The revised version is now remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating that in order. In that order. The sixth level of Bloom taxonomy. The first level of Bloom taxonomy is to remember. Example, activities at the remembering level. That is memorize a poem, recall state capitals, remember math formulas. The second level of Bloom taxonomy is to understand. Example, activities at the understanding level, that is organize the animal kingdom based on the GIF framework, illustrate the difference between the rectangle and square, summarize the plot of the simple story. And the third level of Bloom taxonomy is to apply. Example activities that in application level, that is use a formula to solve a problem, select a design to meet a purpose, reconstruct the passage of a new law through the given government or system. The fourth level of Bloom taxonomy is to analyze. Example activities at the analyze level, that is identify the part of democracy, explain how the steps of the scientific process work together, identify why a machine isn't working. And the fifth level of Bloom taxonomy is to evaluate. Example activities at the evaluation level, that is, make a judgment regarding an ethical dilemma. Interpret the significance of a given law of physics. Illustrate the relative value of the technological innovation in a specific setting. A tool that helps recover topsoil forming. For example, and the sixth and highest level of Bloom taxonomy is to create. The example activities at the creating level, that is, design a new solution to an old problem that honors or acknowledges the previous failures. Delete the least useful argument in a persuasive essay. Write a poem based on a given theme and tone. Okay, everyone. I think that's all the explanation for me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.